Hello and welcome along to episode number 8 of the Huda, the Strange and the Jugsy, looking at all the hashtag Parisian hockey predictions. And of course, we come down to the final day, the women's final, the gold medal game and the bronze medal match as well. So much to play for, a historic day. And we will have a look back at yesterday's action. And trust me, there was plenty of it. Alongside me, Dan Strange, as ever, is Sarah Juggins, an esteemed writer who, of course, has written books such as The History Makers and Under an Orange Sky. Sarah, who else have we got alongside us today?
Well, I mean, top marks for consistency. We've got Ava with us again for the second day on the trot. Ava is, I mean, it's going to be a real case of sort of looking back and thinking about your own experiences today, because, of course, in 2008, you were in your first Olympic Games when the Netherlands faced China. And subsequently, obviously, as we know with your career, you went on to win 3 Olympic golds and a silver. So we are so delighted to get your insights today into what on earth those players are going to be thinking.
Thank you for having me again. I'm very happy to be here 2 days in a row. I think it will be a great game. And actually, funny, 2008 it was in China. So I think now for the girls to play in Paris, which is so close to home, playing China again. We don't play them that often, I think, if you look back like throughout the years. But I think it will be, an amazing experience for all of the girls to experience these Olympics now, after Tokyo. And for the Chinese girls as well, I think for them to probably be in a final is already amazing. And you never know what can happen.
And alongside us all today, our final Dream Team member is Sabbie Heesh, a player who surely would have been going to the Olympic Games in Golf Great Britain had it not been for a horrendous knee injury earlier this year, which sent her, of course, into that crazy frenzy of rehab, sitting on a box trying to keep her reflexes going. Sabbie, 35 Great Britain caps. You made your debut for Great Britain back in 2015. And then your England debut back in 2017. Thank you for joining the show. How are you?
My pleasure, guys. I'm doing okay. Obviously, as you say, pretty gutted to miss the games, but I think it's sport. I know Ava's been through this injury. It's probably one of the worst injuries you can get, but I was very fortunate to have the team around me that I could kind of complete rehab in 3 months, which is a bit unheard of, but it's kind of definitely helped this kind of process. At least I'm not at home sat on a bike or learning to walk again when the girls are playing. But no, I'm very happy to be here with you guys, fully fit, which is a bonus.
You're currently in Barcelona, but you've actually been out in Paris watching the team a bit. How did you enjoy that experience?
So I went for the first week, just the groups. I mean, it was pretty full on, 5 games in 7 days or something. I actually really enjoyed it. I love hockey like most of you guys, and to be there for my mates and teammates in Paris was something I was probably always going to do. I found it tough at times, but I think I had things in place that meant I made it kind of a city break as well as obviously the Olympics. And I think Paris put on a great show, and it was nice to experience the Olympics from the other side. I was in Tokyo as a reserve, and it was very strict and we couldn't really leave. So it was really nice to explore Paris, and support the girls. And then I came out after before the quarterfinal. It was the right thing to do for the team. If they kind of progressed, I kind of didn't want to really be around that. But if they also got knocked out, I thought it was best that they kind of did that whole process themselves. And so I split to Barcelona to the sun.
Nice. Sounds like the perfect exit strategy. Right, Jugsy, blow your whistle, ready for the warm-up, please. Okay, so it's time for the warm-up where we, of course, look back on the previous day's action. And yesterday was a very, very big one. Ava de Huda, let's go to you first and we'll talk about the gold medal game first. A huge win, but a very, very tense win for the Netherlands men.
No, it was a massive win, and I'm so happy for them. I think they've been wanting this for so long, and they've been really, now that Jeroen is their head coach, they really have been playing very well. And I think throughout the whole Olympics, they've been so focused and so controlled in their game. And I think that's what you saw yesterday as well. Both teams were very much in control and were playing like maybe a bit careful, how like not that much on the attack, but they've been defending both of them so well, and I think you could see that yesterday too. And yeah, to win it on shootouts, I think the amount of emotion that sort of like pours out of you after you scored the winning goal. I think we all saw that yesterday too. So now I'm very, very happy for them. A massive win. I think it was 24 years ago after they won their last gold medal. So no, very well deserved and happy for them. Yeah, amazing game.
Ava, can I ask you a question? At the start of this entire podcast process, you were very concerned about the Dutchmen and thinking that they weren't in the right place. Do you think that they've worked through? I mean, I don't know what those problems are, but do you think they've worked through those problems, or has this happened because of those problems almost?
Yeah, I don't think they were having problems. I thought it would maybe be a little bit too soon for them to win a medal now. So that was more where I was coming from. They proved me very wrong. I do think that they have been growing into the tournament, and I think that brings a bit of like more self-belief and confidence during the tournament, and I think that really helped them. And yeah, yesterday to win it like that, it showed their mental sort of like stability and where they're at the moment, even with a few younger guys. So I think the whole coaching stuff and the team in general, you can really tell that's a team, and they haven't always had that, and I think that's what got them to the gold medal now. Yeah.
Duco Tilgenkamp stepped up to take the last one, youngest player on the team, scored it incredibly comfortably, actually, just slightly turning his back and then clipping the ball home on the reverse stick. Ava, I'm just going to stay with you for a moment, though. His response there, probably a little bit to do with the fact he's so young and just that inexperience and the sort of getting embroiled with Jean-Paul Danneberg. Not great scenes at the end of an Olympic final.
No, I think it's a shame. I don't think it's necessary. And I think it's such a shame that that we talk about that now. I think that already says enough. Like, you want to talk about how great it is to win a gold medal, and then it will always be like, oh, remember, that last shootout. Like, it was such a great goal. And I know that Danneberg said something in the press, but yeah, to me, those things happen, and it's like playing around a bit, and often the media blows it up way bigger than it actually is. Because I think he said like, yeah, I think the Dutch might be scared of us. So it's actually not like they're scared of us, but like, I think they might be scared of us, which is like maybe a little game that you play. And then the reaction of Duco, I think he probably didn't really think it through, but it was very unnecessary. And yeah, I hope he learned the lesson. I'm sure, I know he said that he regretted it. So I hope he, might throw it out a little bit more, that he actually did regret it, and that the guys can just, celebrate their win. And I think the fact that you score a goal like that and that you win a gold medal, that already says enough. So you don't really have to do that extra little bit and run towards a goalie like that. I think it's just disrespectful, but I know he regrets it. So yeah, that's okay.
As we've got
to put a little bit of a positive spin on it, at least it shows the sheer amount of passion and the sort of and it is, and it also emphasizes that intense rivalry between the two nations in sport, and so yes, it was it wasn't needed at the end of the match, and it wasn't good to see, but it does really drive home to people just how much this means to them, and that sort of outpouring of emotion. So
Sabbie, just going to come to you for a second as a goalkeeper. When you go to the shootout, which you've had plenty of experience in the Pro League, which I would imagine the nerves can be a little bit different when, you're playing for the Golden Olympic Games from a shootout in the Pro League. But what is going through your head in that scenario? And how do you compartmentalize each and every shootout effort? Because obviously it's quite a roller coaster ride for a goalkeeper.
I think I do my prep first, is like all keepers are kind of doing now, and having that piece of paper. The difficulty comes with that, obviously, is depending on how many people have done shootouts in the past, you don't want to end up with kind of 20 people, which is quite good for Pro League because a lot of people rotate through. From a scouting point of view, it makes it very difficult. But you kind of, the more shootouts you do, the more games you play, you get a sense of probably who's going to step up. So yeah, a lot of it's done in prep, and kind of I would have a plan for kind of each shootout taker, and then kind of just remind myself of that before before each shootout. It's a funny one. I don't feel it is a massively pressurized situation. I take kind of each shootout on its own. I don't look at the 5. I often don't know the score. I don't look at that. I sometimes don't look at the girls taking theirs, just because it's kind of like an individual battle. If I can do my job, I don't get caught up in kind of what they're doing from attacking point of view. Yeah, and trying to take each shootout as it comes. And then I just try and stay in them as long as possible. But I was very impressed with Dannenberg's reaction to Duco. He didn't react. He kind of took it and didn't kind of, which was good. And he's 21 as well, and he kind of showed his maturity from that point of view. And I was very impressed that he didn't react or retaliate to that. But no, it is pressurized. But I get 5 shots. The guys get 1.
So, Sabbie, have you faced Ava in a shootout ever? That you can remember?
Do you know what I mean?
Would you have
think so, no.
Would you have notes on her though? Would you have prepared so much that you've got notes?
It would be too big. I couldn't have space to write it. It would be like, can do this.
So I was going to ask this. So if do you have written down the most likely scenarios? So one of the analysts has gone away and gone, this is the most likely thing Ava de Hooda will do. Because obviously, if you've seen her take, I don't know, 7 shootout efforts, and she's changed it up 3 times within that, you can't have all that written down because, I mean, when you're having to read quickly, I know this when I'm commentating. If you're having to read quickly, if there's too much detail, you sort of get paralysis by analysis.
I think it's what I would literally write down is probably, do they go backhand, forehand, face up, turn the back, and then regard it, and then depending on their skill set, what they kind of do in those positions. And it's probably more of what I would do. So say I would probably write, say, Ava, and then turns back. I don't know if you do. And then what I would kind of do to counter that. And then obviously part of it is also reading and kind of reading the situation, because as you say, somebody can do something completely different, and it's one of those ones some people like a lot of information, some people kind of just like reacting to the scenario. I think Permin last night, he has a specific style that he kind of wants to end it quickly, a bit like Vinny, like a bit like Grabby, which kind of works on majority of shootouts, especially when they turn the back. But yeah, it's the fine balance between how much prep, how much information against, let's just read the situation, especially in Pro League, because as you say, it's less pressurized. You're probably going to try different things. I've not been lobbed yet. That's one thing I haven't been.
There's a challenge for everybody out there.
Touch wood here, Sabbie, touch wood.
I've been lobbed in training.
Who by?
Not like Blockman's lob.
Who lobbed you?
Flora lobbed me.
So the one thing with Permin, I just want to talk about Permin for a second, because kind of what have we spoken about so far? We've spoken about the Dutch one, and immediately we sort of speak about the slight unsavoury scenes at the end. I don't think there's a more deserving goalkeeper in the world game at the moment than Permin Blark to have that game that he had, because it wasn't just a shootout. He played very well in regulation time as well. The interesting thing, Sabbie, just coming back to the shootout with Permin, is he said to me a number of years ago now, he always thinks his chances jump vastly in a shootout the moment a forward turns their back on him, which happened for a number of the saves yesterday. And it's interesting when you've sort of got that intel and that insight, suddenly his head's going, brilliant, I'm in this, as soon as the player turns his back.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think because he's so good at the stick through the legs that he likes disrupting. Our coaches say if you're turning your back, it's a bit of like a cop out, because you've put your body in between, yourself and the goal. And like, I think the quality players and the quality shootouts actually face up and they can do stuff away from the goalkeeper. And actually, there's a couple of different ways and different styles to kind of counter when they turn the back. It depends on if they like the spin. A few of the Dutch girls like the really long spin. I thought China women, they turn their back when we played them at Lee Valley for pretty much every time. But yeah, I'm a bit torn with, I don't really have a preference. I'm sure the Germans wish they listened to that. Heard a Permin say that to you, and they probably wouldn't have turned the back. But no, I think if you can have a pretty good skill set at solving all the different styles of a shootout, then you're pretty set. I think Vinny Van Ash is also pretty good at when they turn their back as well, in terms of he's a bit all or nothing.
While we're waiting for Ava, do you have a, like, when you're doing a shootout, do you have a preconceived plan, or do you react to what the keeper does? Is it a mix of both?
But I used to have like a plan, but then see if a goalie would come out like a little bit further. Like I would honestly almost like close my eyes and just smack it. That was my thing. I was like, if a goalie is sort of still close to the goal, that's what I'm just going to do. I just slap it. That's how I scored in 2012 at the Olympics. And then after that, goalies started to play a little bit more as well. So some would like come out really hard, and then if I would slap it, that would be silly. So then it's like, okay, if the goalie comes out like a little bit more aggressive, then what am I going to do? So I think you would have your preference, maybe 2 or 3 things that you know you can do, and you try to stick to that. But I know, as an example, like Ellen Hoog, she always used to do the same thing. Like I promise you, the same thing. It would be like a little like this and then backhand, but she would almost always score. And you're like, how is that possible? Surely a goalie should know. But she would get them on the wrong foot, and then she would always score. It was incredible.
I guess as a keeper, they were always waiting for her to do that different thing once.
Yes. Yeah, sure.
Sabbie, in the shootout the other day with Argentina, it made me think of your game back in December where the Argentinian player went to lift the ball to run in on the shootout. Ava, I'm just going to come to you on this before we ask Sabbie. Have you ever done that on a shootout, lifting the ball into the circle or not? And then Sabbie, I want to just get your view on that and how much more difficult it is, because obviously it's high risk for the forward as well.
I've never done that. I think now that the shootouts are already there for a while, like you try different things, and I think especially youngsters probably try different things, and we know how much the Argentinians love their 3D skills and they're really good at it. But no, I've never done it, and I don't think I would ever start a shootout like that. No.
And Sabbie, what's it like to face a lifted ball compared to a ball being running? Because surely it's just there's more going on in your head because the ball could go anywhere.
Yeah, and also depending if they can hit the ball hard, you're literally like, oh, a bit of fear. Tess Howard, she does it in training quite a bit, and she can hit a ball hard, and I have to have words with her being like, look, we're at this stage of pre-tournament, can you not volley it at my head? Yeah, it definitely adds the little bit of, you kind of just have to be a bit more reserved, and kind of, they're obviously in control and more in control when it's in the air and you can't actually take it. And then you hope that they backstick it or something on the way in.
Let's just look back at the bronze medal game briefly. History again for India. Having gone 41 years without a medal, they now go back-to-back bronze. The big talking point out of the game in a lovely way, we're just stacked, monopolised by goalkeepers today, and goalkeeper chat is Srijesh leaving the international game with another medal around his neck. Sarah, I'm just going to ask you this question to start with, because you will have covered a lot of his career. How important has Srijesh been for that Indian team?
Oh, golly. The man's a colossus, isn't he? I mean, he's been around for such a long time in the first instance, so there's that wealth of experience and wisdom and ability to, I guess, keep his team calm in times when that's needed. You know, he's got that sort of, he's just got that presence on the pitch that can really drive the way that the Indian team is reacting. So there's that. But also, I mean, he's just such a nice guy. You know, I don't care who India are playing against. I want them to do well for him, because he is just he's a sort of character who, I mean, I saw some post-match tweets or X's or whatever you call things on that social media platform now, of him leading the dancing in the changing room. You just think, wow, that's a guy who just loves life and and loves what he does. And I think the Indian team will struggle to replace that character, not necessarily in terms of ability, but the character that he brings to everything. So he's an all-round, I just think he's an all-round colossus.
Ava, did you see the game? What did you think of it?
I have to be honest, I didn't really see it. I only saw the last few minutes, I think the last 5 minutes. But yeah, very happy for India. Like Sarah said, I think you just really want them to do well. They're so likable. And talking about Srijesh, he just has got that like X factor that you want him to do well. And I think he well, the last few minutes that I saw. I think he did well, and he really had a few good saves. So no, it's incredible that you're able to end your career like that. So I'm very happy for him. Yeah, he deserves it.
He does deserve it. And it meant social media, of course, went crazy in India. They'll absolutely, the thing is, they'll now go home to a hero's welcome again. Although there was a comment at one point from one fan, which was, have they underachieved him? Because they won a medal, have they underachieved in Paris? Sabbie, can you imagine playing, not just playing under that pressure, but being a goalkeeper for such a long period under that level of pressure? I mean, it's amazing that Srijesh hasn't gone grey by this point in his career.
No, I agree. And also to stay so switched on and at the top of his game for so long is also pretty impressive. I just absolutely love his character on the pitch and his energy and his desire to keep the ball out the net. I think, yes, it's messy at times, but he's kind of not afraid to do that. And he steps up in the big moments. And I think he's had a really good tournament, especially in those last moments of games. He's come out with some corner saves and he just makes it look so easy when probably in his head, as you say, he's like, he's under pressure, not just from a nation, but from the team point of view. But no, he's such a likable character. I mean, I think I've met him only once, but yeah, I'm very pleased for India. Not pleased they beat Spain. I've got a little bit of soft spots for Spain. I kind of wanted them to get on the podium, but I think they deserve to win just for Srijesh. And the photo of him on the goal is class as well.
And just talking Spain really briefly, what Max Cal, I know they're not going to have him. They've almost been the India women's story of the last games for this games. What Max Caldas has done in terms of team spirit, belief, and quality for that Spanish team, Sabbie, is absolutely amazing. You will have seen them quite a bit at the Olympic qualifier back in January.
Yeah, he's definitely changed a lot of it. And I think they've got an average age of 24. I'm not saying age is a problem, but he's obviously invested quite a lot in the youngsters and probably from the 21s through. And I'm sure this is probably just the start of kind of what he wants to achieve with them. And he's definitely had an impact there, and especially for Spanish hockey, to get fourth in Olympics from a men's point of view is huge, especially, as I say, with an inexperienced team. I know they were missing the captain. I think he broke his hand, right? Yeah. But no, I'm pleased for them, and I'm sure they'll look back and realize what they've done. But yeah, Max was also at the end congratulating the Indians and very happy for them from that point of view as well. It just probably shows, he's a very good character. For Spain.
It was interesting though, because I was watching the match and then I had to dip out for a little while, and when I left, Spain looked very much in control. And I was really surprised. I thought they were playing really, really nicely, and they looked like they'd really got the match in hand. And I came back and it switched around completely, and I thought I'd actually turned the wrong channel on. So it was another good performance by India when they were under pressure to turn things around, I thought.
Yeah, I think it was the big moments. The Indians took them, and Spain had a few corners at the end, and they had a few shots, and it didn't quite click for them in the circle. But as you say, India, they were very clinical from the top and scored, probably when it mattered.
Harmanpreet now just about, I think it's 6 goals off 200 in only 227 caps. He is scary. He's brilliant. I love Harmanpreet. So much time for how he plays the game, and a great leader. Right, Jugsy, blow your whistle, because we're going on to predictions. It's the end of the warm-up. A huge predictions day in Paris, not just in terms of gold medals, silver medals, and bronze medals, but in terms of the DeHuda, DeStrange, and DeJugsy leaderboard. I will just put how it stands up on screen now after yesterday's results. It means, well, of course it's going to come down to how the results are called between us, but it's also very much coming down to this bronze medal game, because Jugsy and Ava have both said Argentina medal and Belgium don't. I was the one that went left field and said Argentina don't get on the podium. And of course, if I pick up that 10 points from Belgium, it does throw me right in the mix. Well, today, guys, right, let's look at the bronze medal game first. Let's look at it in order first. Ava, how do you view this bronze medal game between Belgium and Argentina?
I think it's going to be very tight. And I do think Belgium will get the win in the end, even though I did say that Argentina would podium. I have changed my opinion on that. So I think Belgium will take a 2-1 win over Argentina today.
Belgium take a 2-1 win over Argentina. So basically, that's an interesting one because, of course, if that happens, you'll pick up the points for the Belgium win, but then you won't get the points because you're going to lose 10 points if
I know, but that's what I had yesterday.
It goes against your leaderboard here, Ava, or she's hedging.
I know, but that's what I did yesterday with the men's final. I said the Dutchies would win, but I didn't put them on the podium. So, during the games, I've been changing my mind a bit. Sorry.
Just to confirm where we're at the moment, Dahuda 116. She's lost 4 points, Sabbie, over time. One of them being an international woman of mystery. The Jugsy's on 1-1.
What are the other 3 then?
You lost for
gloating, asking for
arguing's going to come. Gloating,
arguing.
Unintentional bias. Sorry, no, unnational bias. You went against your own team too much.
But I made up for that now.
You have, and there was one other point. I'm not sure what it was for. To Jugsy 115 for wrong facts, bias, and postponing a podcast when we're all sat here, Sabbie.
Yeah.
I'm on 108, so quite a long way back at the moment. The dream team at the moment are actually in last position on 105. So that is how it stands. So these are huge. So at the moment,
so Dan, how many points did you lose?
I lost 3, 5 so far. 5. I'm the most heavily penalised. Get your violins out. Person on this podcast. One of them, Sabbie, was spelling Ava's previous surname wrong, which we only picked up 7 podcasts in. So
you actually have it in the...
So you've gone 2-1 Belgium, Ava.
But yes,
2-1 Belgium.
2-1 Belgium.
Sabbie, what are you calling?
I'm gonna go for 2-1 Argentina. I think Argentina's experience and their finishing will prevail over. If Belgium don't keep a lid on it, I think they moan too much. I think that game the other day wasn't great. They got too many cards for disciplinary things. I think that will be their flaw today. Controversial because there's 4 of them obviously played in London that I'd quite like them to then medal. But I think Argentina will pull out 2 worldies and we'll see.
Of course, the end of their game against China went a little bit viral as well. Jugsy, where are you going on this one?
Well, I've also decided to play it a bit tactical because obviously I want Argentina on the podium for the 10 points, but I've decided that I'll take a couple of points for Belgium if they win. So I'm actually going to go 2-2 with Belgium winning the shootout. And the reason I'm doing that is because I think that Belgium will have learnt from the other day. And I think that Argentina actually, it's not a silver or gold, so we're not going to go 100. Well, no, of course they'll go 100%, but I just don't think they're going to be quite as geared up as they would be if they were facing the Netherlands.
I think Argentina take it 3-1.
3-1.
Sorry. What am I talking about? No, I don't. I think Belgium take it 3-1. Sorry, I'm doing absolute rubbish here. I think Belgium take it 3-1. And for all the reasons I've given about Argentina before, I think their bite in the final stages after the World Cup has been reduced. Right, so interesting predictions so far. On to the final. China, I think it's 29 games they haven't beaten the Netherlands. I will double check that stat, but I think that's true. They definitely haven't won in the last 11 years, 20 matches. I'm reading it here on Data Hockey Hub, which is a brilliant source of detail. 20 wins to none in favour of the Netherlands. What's there been? 81 goals in that time. We average 4.05 goals per game. But it's very, 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 very heavily in favour of the Dutch, who have 3.5 goals a game to 0.55 goals a game for China in that time. So, Ava, I'm going to come to you last because this is a brilliant game for you to analyse. Sabbie Heesh, what's the score going to be for the Dream Team?
I am going to go 4-0 Holland.
4-0 the Netherlands.
Yeah. I'm not going to influence anyone else's. I was like,
Jugsy?
Well, according to the stats, I'm going to go 3.5 to 0.5.
Yeah. If that happens, you can have 1,000,000 points, Jugsy.
I'm going to go with Pepper's prediction.
Where is Pepper? What's happening?
She's having a lie-in. We had this discussion yesterday. I've got a little video of her actually telling me that China are going to break their 29 match winning streak and they're going to win 2-1.
What?
I'm going with Pepper. She's been right every single time so far.
Wow. Right, Ava, the floor is yours. What's going to happen in this final? Is it going to be the team that you've played for with such esteem, or is it going to be your old coach who wins gold for China and well, I think shocks the world is fair. If China win, this is a massive shock. It's brilliant for hockey, but it's a massive shock. It's not brilliant for the Netherlands. It's brilliant for hockey, but it's a massive shock.
Yeah. No, I know people have been saying that in the past as well. And I wouldn't get too angry about it, but it's always like it would be good if the Dutch wouldn't win, like it would be great if someone else would win. But as a player, well, I don't care. We train hard to be there and be that good, It's not that we're like, ugh, whatever, guys, let's make it fun. Why don't we train a bit less hard and then let others catch up? You never want that. So I think the Dutch, I think they will win. I think they'll get a 3-1 win today. I hope it will be a tight and a good game to watch, because I think there will be some nerves. I think there will be pressure, but then I do think that the Dutch are, used to playing these games. And I think that's when their experience in playing these games will matter today. And that's why I think they'll get a good win over China, even though, you never know. It could be that one game for China. You only have to win one. And if this is the one for them, then that would be unheard of, I think. Incredible.
I've gone very strategic, because if this actually does turn out, then I am going to be known as the best hockey pundit in the world.
I have deliberately sat and listened to Ava instead of giving my score before her, and she swayed me from it's going to be a shootout and China might win it to the Dutch are going to win 4-2. So Ava's words there have just swayed my decision. I agree.
Do you remember, Dan? This is the woman who didn't put Netherlands men on the podium.
She didn't put Netherlands men on the podium. That's true, but she is winning. Quite a lot. Has a little bit of form for winning. Let's remember that, Jugsy. She seems to be quite good at it. So these Parisian hockey predictions. What I love is it's come down to the final day. I never in a million years, when I suggested this originally to Sarah, I said, "Shall we do a predictions podcast?" I thought it would be sort of, someone running away with it halfway through. The fact it's created so much hilarity, not just on the podcast, but on our WhatsApp group as well, which is quite an elite band, I must say. I must say for the preview show, for the review show, I am going to count up the number of caps we've now got on there, because it was well over 1,200 in international hockey, which was really quite special. But blow your whistle, please, Jugsy, because that is the final time of our predictions for Parisian hockey predictions. And it takes us into extra time. Extra time where, of course, we do have a chat through just the goings on around the games. Ava, for you in the last few days, what's been your last day? We spoke yesterday. What's been something you picked up on watching the Olympic action?
So yesterday we had Femke Bol running her 400-meter hurdle game. Shame. I think there was, for me from the outside, I think there was so much pressure on her from herself, but from, the whole country, and that one-on-one with, what's her name? McLaughlin.
Anyway,
the American girl. Anyway, who
American,
won
yeah.
in the end? Yeah. So I think the build up towards that like run was so big that in the end she couldn't do it. And I mean, she still won bronze, and she's so young, and it's still amazing. But I hope in the end she can be happy with it. But for now, it just feels like devastation and such a disappointment for her, and I find that a shame. I hope for her that in the end she can be happy with that bronze medal, and she's won a gold with the team sprint, which was amazing. I think that was like the 200 meters mixed relay. So ready to win that before this bronze medal. But yeah, there was big disappointment because the build up towards it, like that run was immense, and then to just not do it, yeah, just heartbreak to see.
There was some suggestion from the commentary afterwards that she shouldn't have done the mixed relay first. But I don't really see that, because I mean there was quite a break between events, surely, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was quite a break. So I don't know why they said that. Maybe because then you have a gold and then you're already there before you have to do your own race. So maybe that could be it. But yeah, for us, like, we never experienced anything like that, to, go out multiple times for to win multiple medals potentially. So I wouldn't know what that feels like. But yeah, I think a lot of athletes do multiple things during the Olympics, and it's very impressive. So I wouldn't know why for her that wouldn't work. I know that they saved her for that semi-final and that relay. So she didn't run that. And then for the final, she absolutely smashed it and totally won it for the Netherlands. So that was incredible.
Sabbie, for you, you said you turned your trip to Paris into a bit of a city break. How much of that was relaxing on the, in the coffee shops of Paris, and how much of it was actually getting to other events within the Olympics to just give you even more of that Olympic bug? Not that I imagine you need any more inspiration.
I probably spent more times in coffee shops and restaurants. We went to the Rugby Sevens, which was pretty cool. And that stadium's amazing, that was really cool. But yeah, I probably spent quite a lot of time at the hockey. But then what I do like doing is eating my way around a city. So that was obviously really important for me. I wish I could get tickets for the skateboarding. I think that event is class. The fact that there's so many different ages. I think we had a 51-year-old competing against 14-year-olds. I think it's pretty impressive, and just the camaraderie after everyone puts a run down is just, I don't know, it's just so nice to see, and they're so supportive of each other, which is really nice. I'm just gutted. The tickets, literally, there was 6,000 and they just sell out so quickly. But no, I definitely ate my way around Paris, which was quite nice.
And Jugsy, for you?
Well, yeah, I mean, I've loved all the sports been going on, but something did catch my eye on social media, which was I don't know if anybody else saw it, the volunteers did a breakdance routine with mops as they were cleaning the floor of the breakdancing arena, and they billed it as breakdancing meets curling, because they were sort of scrubbing the floor with these mops, and it was brilliant. I mean, it looked as though they'd been practicing it for weeks, which they probably had. But the whole crowd, they were obviously waiting for another match to come on, and they were absolutely loving it. So I just thought, I've always, ever since London, I think the volunteers and the way, all these events, the way they throw themselves into it and give of their time, to see them taking centre stage like that was just absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, my son came up to me the other day and told me he wanted to watch the breaking. And the jury's still out here on breaking in the Olympic Games. Although I do have a friend who commentated on breakdancing at the Asian Games, which led to much hilarity amongst our commentary group.
Has it started yet, breakdancing?
I don't actually know. He didn't have the TV schedule in front of him at the time. He's only 8. I need to find this out. I actually think it starts today. Another thing I've really enjoyed seeing on social media, which is one of the sports presentation things, is them doing a lot of double Dutch skipping in a lot of the venues. And Jugsy knows I've got a bit of a penchant for skipping as well, and that was really great to see that being put in the international arena. Right, we've come to the end of podcast number 8 of DeHuda, DeStrange and DeJugsy. Don't forget you can follow us on Instagram, DeHuda Strange Jugsy Pod, #Parisian Hockey Predictions. if you want to join in. We will be back with a review show at some point after today, where we're going to try and get the dream team back on. We're going to confirm who's won in the end, how it all breaks down, because of course it will come down very much that Belgium-Argentina match and today's predictions. To Sabbie Heesh, thank you very much for joining. Ava, as ever, and Sarah too, thank you. For now, from us all, it's goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.